Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam, and in today's video I wanted to do a little book tag. I thought that this would just be fun to sort of chat about books, likes, dislikes, and sort of get to know me better on my reading preferences. I will leave a link to the book tag down below if you are interested in doing this book tag as well. Let's just jump in. This is a 20 questions book tag. Question number 1 is, how many books are too many books in a series? I read Throne of Glass. I'm reading the Temperance Brennan series. I am no stranger to long series, Percy Jackson series, although it's 3 separate series, but they're all kind of under the same umbrella. I'm definitely no stranger to long series, but once you're over 10 books in a series, you're really pushing it. I really love shorter series to sort of work through them. I think a lot of the series that I'm currently reading have about 5 books, and if it's like an interconnected standalone romance or just like a fantasy series, I think that is a really good place. But I think anything over 10 is really pushing it. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with them. I love that feeling of jaw-dropping shock of, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Like, what's going to happen next? I want to read the next book immediately. But having that feeling and then not being able to jump into the next book in the series immediately is so frustrating. So I definitely have a love-hate relationship with them, but I think I like them more than I dislike them. Hardback or paperback? I'm definitely paperback girly. I much prefer reading in paperback. I think, although hardbacks look nice on your shelf, I feel like the dust jacket, even if you're so careful with them, can get beat up and can tear a little bit. So honestly, I think the paperbacks look better overall and are a more enjoyable read. So paperback through and through. Number 4 is your favorite book. I don't know how I can pick this. I did do a video a couple weeks ago about all my favorite books from 2023. But favorite books of all time? Probably the entire Throne of Glass series. That series lives rent-free in my head 100% of the time. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna just have to go with Throne of Glass. Maybe I'll make an updated all my 5-star reads, like my favorite books that I read video. I don't know if you want to see that. I don't know if it hasn't been long enough. Because honestly, I don't get a ton of 5-star reads. I'm very picky about the books that I read. Or I'm very picky about the rating I give books. Least favorite book. The one that comes to mind all of the time is the Maybe Someday series by Colleen Hoover. I just really disliked that series. I was so irritated the entire time I was reading it. Love triangles, yes or no? I don't hate them, but I feel like there's always a clear person who's going to come out on top. So maybe not. I don't think I found one that's been done well. The most recent book you just couldn't finish. I don't DNF books. So there hasn't been a book that I haven't finished. A book that I wanted to DNF, maybe Aragon. I just talked about this in my January wrap up and I didn't end up hating it at all. It just really dragged and I really considered soft DNFing and picking it up maybe later in the month, but I pushed through and I did it. Number 8, a book that you're currently reading. I am about 100 pages into Jade City by Fonda Lee. I'm just now starting to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of characters, but they don't just use people's names. Like there's something added onto it, and it's taken me a really long time to figure out who's who and if there's multiple people that have essentially the same name. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Last book that you recommended to somebody? I think Emily and I just recently talked about Icebreaker. or Wildfire, or both. Which I think those are already on her TBR, but I like re-recommended them to her. Oldest book you read by publication date. I am not sure when the book was published, but I read The Hunchback of Notre Dame at the sort of end of last year, and I think that was originally written in like the 1400s, maybe not quite that old, but probably that one. Newest book you've read by publication date, maybe Wildfire. I think this just came out in September, October, and I just read it. This is the newest book that I can think of that I've read. I've been in a like 2010s reading mood, so probably that one, I think. Favorite author was Sarah J. Maas, Hannah Grace, Christina Lauren, Emily Henry. I'm trying to think of authors that I've read multiple books by them and not just like Elsie Silver. I've only read one book but absolutely loved and cannot wait to read more, but I've only read one of her books. So buying books or borrowing books, I do both. I have really been enjoying using my library and Kindle Unlimited, which obviously I pay for the Kindle Unlimited subscription, but being able to take out and read as many books as you want in a month is great. And I use my library all the time. Jade City is a library book. I have another book out from the library right now. I have like 6 books on hold at the library right now. I love using my library, and at my library on the bottom of your e-receipt, I think they put it on the like physical receipts as well, but I just get them emailed to me. It tells you how much money you have saved by using the library, so it's always fun to like see how much money you've saved. And I also really enjoy using my library because there's a lot of books that I really want to read, but I don't think are going to be absolute favorites or books that I want to necessarily go back and reread. So being able to go out and read all these books that are good and I enjoy and I'm excited to read, but don't necessarily want to spend the money and aren't necessarily my absolute favorite authors is so much fun. A book you dislike that everyone seems to love? Probably Hooked or Scarred by Emily McIntyre. Those are the only 2 books that I have read so far in the Never After series. I feel like I really only see good reviews about that series, and even looking through all the 5-star reviews on Scarred, the most recent book that I read, everything that they liked, I hated. So probably those ones. Bookmarks or dog ears. I never dog ear my pages. I will use anything I can find for bookmark, but recently for Christmas, my boyfriend got me a couple nice bookmarks that are like related to Fourth Wing. So this is the one that I have right with me. Just a couple dragons and some stars. It's just so much fun, like being able to open your book and have like a pretty fun bookmark is so much fun. A book you can always reread. Anything by Sarah J. Maas. Cannot wait to read Throne of Glass again. I've read the Percy Jackson series probably 3 times. Probably some like Christina Lauren books, Emily Henry books. I would definitely go back to read those ones again. Just so much fun. I can also see myself reading the Maple Hills series again. I've read Icebreaker twice, just read Wildfire, and could definitely see myself reading those books again. They're so good and just nostalgic for my university time. Can you read while hearing music? Yes, I can. Most of the time, if I'm reading and want to put something on, I'll put on like a reading ambiance room. But sometimes I will try to find a playlist based off the book that I'm reading and we'll play that. But I can't always pay attention to music with lyrics while I'm reading, or I can't pay attention to the book while I'm listening to music with lyrics, but it's a fun time. It like really immerses you into the story. But there is definitely some days and some situations or books that I can really only read. One or multiple POVs. I prefer a multiple POV book, even if it's third person, like you're still getting glimpses into each character and sort of focused on their viewpoint. But I much prefer romances with multiple POVs of both the male and female main character. I think it's a lot of fun. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I usually can't finish a book in one sitting. My eyes just will get way too tired, but sometimes I just start reading a book and I can't stop, and it ends up being finished in one day, but it's usually like much shorter books. I don't think I could ever read a fantasy book in one day. And then question number 20, a book you read because of the cover. I don't know. I think like the cover definitely plays into a lot of what makes me want to pick up the book and start reading it, but it doesn't necessarily. I feel like at least recently, most of the books that I'm reading are books that I have heard people talk about or recommend on like BookTube and Bookstagram. And it's been a really long time since I've just gone into the bookstore, gone into the library, and just picked up a book because of the cover. I usually know something about it, so unfortunately, I don't think I have one. Those are all of the questions for this book tag. I hope this was a little bit fun. I wanted to do something a little bit different and quick and easy, just a little fun book tag. If you want to chat about any of your answers to any of these questions down below, let me know. I would love to chat with you. I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.